do it.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Let me make sure that everything is set. Sorry,
We're
guys.
having fun in Marceline, Missouri, but we're also having fun trying to figure out our technology, because usually when we're live streaming for you all, we're sitting in our studio and it's all just set up. So we've got a gimbal so that it keeps everything isn't all jostly. So that's fun technology. We've got our fun little mics here that we bought before D23. I think that worked out super well. So yeah, we're gonna see how this works. We hope that the service will be fine. Feel free to chat. Tag's got the camera, but I've got the chat. So yeah, talk with us. We're going to show you some cool stuff that we've done today in Marceline.
So first of all, I'm getting used to the gimbal, so I apologize. The Walt Disney Family Farm is where we're going for this stream this time. And we're going to go down the path here, which has the what's left of the Dreaming Tree.
This was a very sad realization for me earlier today. But before we talk about that, the Walt Disney Family Farm is privately owned, so you cannot visit the home itself. However, if you go just past the home, there's this really nice parking area, and they've got this public space open for fans like us to be able to go and visit part of the grounds, including Walt's barn, and then also where the Dreaming Tree was, as well as the son of the Dreaming Tree. So the Dreaming Tree is unfortunately no longer. It met its demise. Thank you, lightning storm, and then also windstorm that took it out the rest of the way. So we will go show you that, but you can visit the site of where the Dreaming Tree had been. But they have all of these really cool markers along this path, for those of you that haven't been here, that kind of tells you more of the history and more of the story about this piece of land.
Not terrible?
Not terrible.
Good. We might have funky service out here, so we're just letting you guys know that things might get a little strange.
But in the best way possible. So we're just walking down this little walking path. It's really well manicured. It's not like there's any big holes or anything. So you don't have to worry, you got to be a little careful. But
so this is the new Dreaming Tree. So this was used, planted by his grandson with the assistance of the Disney World ambassadors, with soil from the Magic Kingdom and water from the rivers of America, with seeds from the original Dreaming Tree. So I will tilt up so you guys can see.
And this was planted in September of 2004. So there's this child of the original Dreaming Tree. There's also one located, I believe we read that it was Tom Sawyer Island in Disneyland. But there is also a third tree with an undisclosed specific location, because they want to make sure that they preserve the history of the tree. So in case something happens to the other two, they've got a third one.
The original one used to be basically right here in this kind of pit that's kind of here. There's a picture here that I'll show you guys. That's
oh, I didn't know that.
Walt and Roy
would come to the Dreaming Tree together.
So there's Walt and Roy at the Dreaming Tree before it got struck by lightning in 2008.
2008.
2008.
And then in 2000, very nasty windstorm. But the Dreaming Tree was officially registered as a historic tree by American Forest. The cool thing was, cottonwood trees, we learned, typically last, like an old cottonwood tree, 75 years old. And the Dreaming Tree, I think it was 120 when it met its demise because of the lightning. So really, if the lightning storm, or if the thunderstorm wouldn't have come through, it's interesting to know, like, how much longer would it have gone? Because it already was much older than it should have been. That's pretty magical.
Yeah.
So but I was very sad that it's just a hole.
Yeah. So as we keep going, like Teresa was saying earlier, this property is owned by a local person, but this part here is actually open to the public through their generosity.
Yeah.
But there's all these nice little markers along the way that talk about the Disney's coming here and being here at this, basically, their family farm.
Location, yeah.
Yep. There's some cool little spots over here. We got like another sign. It's actually really beautiful right now, because not only, yeah, so I've got one bar back here, so that's probably why we're having some issues. But, bugs in there were earlier when we were here.
the thing, this is like such a cool place. Again, if you haven't visited Marceline, so recommend it. It's so peaceful back here, quiet, and just absolutely gorgeous right now with all the fall colors and such. I want to come back now in springtime some, see what it looks like when everything's green, but it's very beautiful. We feel very, very lucky and very fortunate that we were able to just be a quick car ride away. Marceline was about, we took a little bit of a detour because there was a restaurant that we wanted to eat at. So it took us about 7 hours.
Terrible?
I don't know, my connection's terrible. Took us about 7 hours to get here.
I'm just wondering because like we're dropping viewers.
For those of you that are watching, is the connection
Terrible
right now, or is it all right? Because we're to the barn now, so maybe we'll back up to the road so you
bars
can have better connection. But there's the barn. I think if we go inside, then we probably lose connection totally. So thank you for bearing with us. We were hoping to share some of this magic with you. Brandon said it's coming in and out a lot, so we'll head back. We'll head back then.
So we can, let's see, there we go. There's both of us. I'm actually here.
We're both here, yes. We're both here. We're not just disembodied voices, but yeah, it's really beautiful.
Trying to show there's the barn.
Are you guys able to see the barn at least?
Hello, Kavwehi. How's it going?
We've been taking tons of photos, tons of videos throughout our day today. It was very hard not to share it with you all right away, but we will be posting those to our social media pages, mostly Instagram stories probably.
I'm going to try to go in here.
We will be sharing our adventures that hopefully aren't going to be too poor connection for you to enjoy as well. But it's incredible. Like I said, it's just so calm and so peaceful. They've got
Stay close. You're going to listen to the mic.
They've got this nice little bench outside of the. I could have just sat there for hours today. I really could have.
Here, I'll show you this quick. Of course, it's going the wrong way. Go the other way, Gimbal.
So if anybody ever visits, you're going to have to come see and find where we signed the barn. It was very difficult to find ourselves a spot, but we found one.
Yeah, look at how
you're
cool
invited to sign the inside of the barn. I think that's cool.
Yeah, there's a cool...
I mean, it's full. It was really hard to find a space for us to be able to sign, so it's really cool to see, and it's really amazing to see how many other people have made this same trip out to the barn to kind of see where it all started.
Yeah, there's tons and tons of...
They did just have a D23 event, and we noticed that there's a new beam that had been installed. So for those that attended that event, they got to sign this specific beam. This event happened this past May. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not since the sun's kind of coming through the window there.
Get rid of my chat. Go away, chat.
Hello, Kavehi. Hello, Lee. Hello, Liberty. And hello, Dan.
There you go. So just so you guys are aware, I'll show you the sign quick. That autographs and words to Walter welcome to the interior of the barn only. What was the event, Teresa?
It was a D23 event that folks were... Where did they stay? It was like a bus trip. They stayed in the city. And then the bus trip brought them here. They got to do stuff at the museum, of course. They went around and did all the sightseeing that we did. But there was some sort of like event that they had here on the property. That they had like a dinner and all sorts of fun stuff. So yeah, so that's what the D23 event was from earlier this year. I want to say the tickets to attend the event were $350. It included your entire day though. So they had lunch was provided, breakfast was provided, and then they had the dinner somewhere here on the grounds, which is pretty cool. So
do you want to go up to the front and we can walk down the street to the front of the house?
Oh yeah, we can show them the house real quick.
Let's go that way. So we're going to hope to get better connection here. We're going to go up back towards the road and see if we can go see the front of the house, which hopefully we'll have some decent connectivity there.
I would think so, but I mean, we'll find out. Thank
Well,
you everyone for bearing with us with trying to get through connectivity issues, but I hope
Yeah.
you're enjoying this.
Our connection is just as bad as the Wi-Fi at Disneyland.
But you know what? In town and all day, it's been really good. So this has
I
been our
can't
first little
believe
hiccup.
that in town at the hotel or at the Airbnb and most of the businesses, there is they've got fiber internet
Yeah.
out here in the middle of
Yeah.
Marceline, Missouri.
Which is great. Yeah, so we're just walking back up that same pathway again.
Is it a beautiful fall day, Liberty? I think so too.
So the tree in the middle of the pathway here again is the Son of the Dreaming Tree. So that is one of the trees that they planted from seeds from the original Dreaming Tree. We'll pay our respects to the hole in the ground that was
What's
the
really
Dreaming
crazy
Tree.
though, guys, is look at this. Look at the photo of Walt and Roy with this tree, and look at the background. How there's really nothing, but then literally look around and
It's
how much it's grown up.
so much. Well, and I'm wondering, mind you all, I know nothing about trees, but I'm kind of wondering, so right, this spot here is where the Dreaming Tree was. Do you think these are little offshoots off of the original Dreaming Tree?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I wonder though, maybe. Maybe they're entirely different trees and I know nothing. That might be part of the original Dreaming Tree, that one sad little thing right here.
This?
Could be. But this just makes me so sad that it's just a whole poor Dreaming Tree.
Let's keep going. It's very blustery out here today. That's for sure. This is the Son of the Dreaming Tree with the, grown from sand or dirt from Magic Kingdom and water from the rivers of America.
That's so cool. What a cool little touch.
So we're going to go back out to the street. We're going to walk up to his childhood home, which has been renovated a little bit.
Yeah, so they did add on to it slightly, but they said mostly though it is what it was when he would have lived there.
Let's go this way.
Okay.
So hopefully the connectivity is good for you guys, and hopefully our audio is good for you guys.
Yeah, like I said, with the wind, we've got little things covering our mic, so hopefully it doesn't sound like we're stuck in a wind tunnel like we really are.
So the main part of Marceline is there's this road up here, and if you go that way, that's the main part of Marceline. We did our hangout with our cast member and above supporters just about a half an hour ago. So we'll walk up. You can see our shadows doing well here.
The home itself, though, it looks gorgeous. Now, again, it is a privately owned home, so we're going to be respectful and...
We can't go up to the door or anything.
Yeah, kind of stay off to the side just to show it to you. But there is a really nice kind of like sign up here.
Speaking of the back of the house, there's
well
the owners. We won't put them on camera.
No, we won't, yeah. A nice sign up here that kind of talks about the history of the house, and there's like a bench. So you can sit on the bench and get your photo taken with the house in the background. It's very nice. Again, it's cool because, right, it's a privately owned home. They don't have to be welcoming like this. Of course, people are going to come and visit. But I think it's really nice that they're very welcoming.
All right, so we're almost there. There's a sign that I'll show you guys. And, of course, the house. So this is an area you could pull over and visit if you do come visit Marceline, which, by the way, is the proper pronunciation from a local, Marceline. So here's our sign. The Walt Disney Family Farmhouse. And this is the house.
You can walk up the street just a little bit to kind of give you a better angle.
Look at this
It is
gimbal
just
doing
off
some great
the
work.
highway, so we apologize for any loud noises.
Yeah. Which, you guys are going to laugh at this. So here's the house. And I'm just going to go right past the front here. You guys ready for this? This is really funny. So if I spin the camera around here, which is going to take its time on my gimbal here, so I apologize. So there's some people asking about the population. 2,233. So right here at the population sign, we'll turn around. We were told by somebody from the Hometown Museum today that that dormer right there is where Walt's room was when they lived here. Some of this, I believe this side, was added on later, like in the 80s. But the original house is here. And of course, there's another barn kind of off in the distance. And that sign that I was pointing out a little bit earlier is down the street there that welcomes people to Marceline. So Lee, the house is in town, but just barely. And it takes about, we drove here from the square. And as I spin this around, I'll kind of show you guys where that is. So if you go down this road.
It's just on the edge of town.
Yeah, it's just on the edge of town. So if you go down this road, over the hill here, kind of down a little bit, there's a fork in the road. And if you go right, it goes into downtown. So.
Yes, we were actually surprised at how the town apparently grew up a little bit more. So it's not really, it's still rural, but it's not quite the, out in the middle of nowhere like you'd think a farmhouse would be.
Oh, we got a motorcycle.
But yeah, very beautiful. I like the color a lot. I don't know if that's like the original color or if that's just a choice, but I love it.
Look at that beautiful sunset. Getting ready there. Is that some smoke from like a fire or something? It looks kind of smoky.
Oh. Close the chat.
I'm going to spin this back around, and I'm going to spin it to us as we're walking along so we can talk and answer any questions you guys might have if I can stop hitting the button.
So I would say if you come visit Marceline, a day, you can do everything a day. It was a very jam-packed, fun-filled day for us. But we did get to see and do a lot of stuff today.
Don't come on a Sunday. Sunday, a lot of things are closed.
Well, the museum opens, I think, from 1 to 5 on a Sunday.
The cafe's not open. And...
Yeah. The museum, if you're a museum person, depending on how you do museums. So Tag and I are very different. I like to sit there and soak it all in. Tag likes to see it, take a picture, and read about it later, which is fine. Everybody does it differently. But what did you say, like a half day?
What, for the museum?
So yeah, to really
Oh, if you're going to sit and read and do everything, probably 3 or 4 hours. Yeah. I personally could have gone through it in about an hour, hour and a half. I took a lot of photos of things.
See, I like to sit there and we saw such cool things. Like there was a hat and a baton from the Disneyland band.
Yep.
From one of the 55ers. 55ers, of course, were the folks that opened Disneyland. And I think he was the last 55er to have retired from Disneyland too. So that was really, really cool stuff. A lot of stuff that was Walt's history with Marceline. A lot of stuff, and the whole reason that the museum kind of exists today is from Ruth, Walt's younger sister's personal collection of her memories of her brothers and such. But then there's also a section that was all things that have been donated to the museum from people's personal collections. So that was pretty cool too. Like we saw a Mickey bicycle, like a big adult-sized Mickey bicycle, and all sorts of stuff.
Do you wanna swap this around and we could drive back into town for the last 2 minutes of the stream if you want?
So Lee's asking, was it easy for Walt to walk to town? I would say yeah.
Well, let's go into town.
We'll drive you back to town.
Here, let me swap this. So just so you know, this is up and down and right and left. Don't
It's opposite, right? I'm just gonna do it forward.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying if you need to go up or down.
Oh, well, we'll figure it out. Bear with me, everyone. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Ooh. Goodbye, Walt's Barn and Farm. Ooh. Forgot I was wearing my ears, and I totally just
knocked them in. So you can kind of narrate as we go into town.
This was a really cool map.
It won't turn. You have to turn it manually.
Oh.
Because it's a gimbal. It's going to try to keep it
So this was a really cool map that we were given so that we got to be able to do it. Yes, Edna was Roy's wife, Lillian was Walt's. Oops, I must have said that wrong at some point. I apologize.
See, it's going to keep trying to turn. You're going to have to turn it back for the road.
Here we go!
So as we go down this road here, if Teresa aims it, yeah, there you go. We're going to take a right, and this is the main street, kind of into town.
Goodbye, Walt family home. Hello, Tag.
Hello.
All right.
I don't know, you're not supposed to be on your phone and driving. Can you stream and drive at the same time?
Hang on, it
goes slow.
Just got really like...
Yeah, when you're turning, it gets confused.
There we go. Make this down so you guys have that lovely little thing. Oh, there's chickens in that person's front yard. Hello, chickens.
So there's a little market on the left. There's a Casey's on the right. That road straight ahead of us is where we're going to bank off and go to the right and go into town. So you'll see how far into town we go.
Oh, gotcha, Lee. No problemo. But yeah, it's a charming little town. Kind of a sleepy little town. When we came in last night, mind you, we got here, it was like...
There's our cop.
There's one of our police friends. So, we did not get in trouble with the police, I should clarify.
You turning this isn't going to...
I'm not trying. Yeah, I know. I'm going to keep forgetting. Anyway, so we ran into one of the local law enforcement this morning while we were headed to the post office. And so nice, so friendly. He lived in Marceline his entire life. He made sure that we asked him. We got the correct pronunciation from him for Marceline. But he, lived here his whole life. He went to Walt Disney Elementary and, was asking us if we were in town for Disney stuff, whatever. Anyway, so we were around the museum taking photos like we do. And he pulled up and he's like, "Hey, you got a photography permit for all those photos you're taking?" And then just started laughing. And so, anyway, so we were hoping to keep bumping into him throughout the day, but it was just a few times.
I'm going to drive through town to the park, the Walt Disney Park.
Oh, okay.
Because that'll be like really pretty and a good spot to kind of end on. Because some of the people on this stream were on the hangout too. You could show the park as we drive by.
I was going to say we could go to the museum.
Do you want me to hang through past the museum? We can do that too. So here's downtown. This is the main street that Disneyland is modeled parts off of.
And this is has been dubbed Main Street USA as well.
So we're going to turn here towards the museum so you guys can see where that is quick.
Yeah, so Main Street's off in the distance there with that lovely sun.
We'll come back to it.
Glow. Oh, come on, Gimbal, you can do it. Yay! Sorry.
I was like, maybe in the car we should just not gimbal, but maybe it's good.
It's probably keeping it more steady than...
Do we want to go to the elementary school or no?
No.
Okay.
So here... Oops,
Other way.
So here's the museum. Again, if you have not visited, highly recommend. In front of us is the E.P. Ripley Park, but what's super cool is just past this locomotive train, let me see if I can zoom in here, is the Midget Autopia. So the Midget Autopia, unfortunately, is no longer. This is where it had previously resided after it spent its time in Disneyland. But in the 70s, the cars got too expensive to maintain for the city, so they retired it. But in 2019, some friends of the Midget Autopia, I guess, they raised some funds and they actually created a paved walking path. I've got some video of us kind of, zipping around the paved walking path that's there and it's the same like what the track would have been.
I just want to show you guys here. So off to our left, I just want to show you this grocery store that says Prenger on the front here, which we're going to pass. It's going to be on our right-hand side as I turn down. This is where Walt's school was when he went to school here.
Walt went to Park School.
Yeah, so
this was the location of Park School.
Yeah, it's they tore it down. This grocery store here, so it's not the same thing. But then we're going to go back to the main street here, and we're going to go down the main street.
Hang on.
Well, you want to show the Coke thing as we go by
there
it?
we go. We'll look at the Coke wall.
As we kind of go by it here. Tilt it up a little bit, maybe. Other way.
There we go.
So the cool thing about this is the Hutchison's Furniture and Undertaking. Walt and Roy actually worked there together, and one of the funny stories was that Roy did all the work while Walt hung out in the caskets and played dead.
Hang on, let me get this
Well, we're going to turn and it's going to get all wacky
straight
again.
ahead.
So to our right here was Ma Vic's Cafe, which...
To our left, but yes.
Oh, to our right. Right, yep. Beautiful, like, awesome place to get breakfast. They had great food, great service. Everybody else is driving slow down here, too. I like this. So as we continue down, this is the actual Main Street.
Yep. So this is their Main Street, and it is called Main Street USA. Some of the buildings here are, they did model some of the buildings here.
They modeled the buildings in Disneyland after these.
Yeah, after. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's pretty neat. We'll put a link because we took, again, millions of photos. There was this really cool, there's all these little, what do you call those things? Those little QR codes all over the place that you could scan on some of these buildings. And then you could either read through the history of the building or you could listen. And there were like 2 to 3 minute sound clips to listen about the history of the buildings. Or in some cases, listen to what had been there, because there are some things like Park School, Waltz Elementary School that are no longer standing, but they talk about what they were and why they were important in the spot. A lot of it was specific to the Disney family. Some of it, though, was just some interesting town history that we learned too. So we're getting a really nice sunset.
Yeah. So up here is it used to be the Country Club, and it was open to the public, even though it was a country club.
Look at these kids. Sorry, I'm getting very distracted by this adorable cat over here. Sorry, cat.
So up here on the right, it says Walt Disney Municipal Park. It was rededicated as that. And then the giant inflatable thing behind it is the Walt Disney pool. So we're going to stop here for a second so you can see the...
hang out, give that so you can maybe do your window down so they can see it better.
Yep. So this is the sign for the Walt Disney Municipal Park. And if I pull up just a little bit, I'll show you guys. I'll zoom in a little bit. That inflatable actually is covering up the pool. There's an outdoor pool that was quite the topic of stuff at the Hometown Museum. So we can't actually see the pool because it's in this covered business. But there's also this beautiful, the sunset.
Okay,
this beautiful water.
So, Liberty, to answer your question, who operates the museum, the family, I don't believe so.
The Hometown Museum?
I believe the Walt Disney Hometown Museum is its own separate thing.
Yes.
They raise funds separately. We spoke with the executive director of the museum while we visited. She was actually the person that was selling the tickets when we were there visiting this morning. So yeah, it's its own separate thing, but they do so very well and obviously have the blessing of the family. Some of the videos that we were watching, they were talking about, again, how it's a lot of Ruth's personal collection, and so there's letters that Walt wrote to her or wrote to her children. One of her sons, Teddy, actually was helping them kind of piece together some stuff when Ruth passed away, and from the Ruth Disney estate, there's some stuff there. So they did a lot of this stuff with the Disneys, but they are separate. It's not like it's owned by Disney, but they definitely have Disney's blessing as well as the family's blessing to have this stuff. So I think we'll probably go back to the Hometown Museum, so you guys don't have to, be watching us drive around.
Yes.
Hopefully, this isn't making anyone nauseous or anything like that.
You're really worried about that.
I've never watched a video with all this stuff, so with a going in on a car ride thing. So I don't know if it's bothersome or not. But anyways,
there's lots of yard for all these houses here. They have big yards.
I don't remember if I've mentioned it in this stream, but the whole reason the Walt Disney hometown. I keep wanting to say family. The Walt Disney Hometown Museum exists is because of Ruth's generosity and Ruth's family's generosity. A lot of the stuff on display, the museum started with kind of her collection. And we actually learned that what was it? Oh, on Walt's 100th birthday is when the museum first opened. And it was only they only thought it was going to be open and showcasing these items for a couple of days, like 2 to 3 days, all the original plan was, but it was so popular and people, really appreciated these things being shared that was kind of the birth of the museum. It was supposed to be a temporary exhibit, but it was very well received. So that's why we have the museum today. On the left over here, that kind of pinkish building that has the terracotta roof tiles there, that was the funeral home that Tag was talking about earlier.
That Walton Roy lived.
That Walton Roy
worked at.
That actually Roy worked at, and Walt pretended he was dead and played.
Quickly, if you ever do stay here, I would recommend there's an Airbnb right here across from the theater, and it is great.
Also, Airbnbs in the theater. Let me get this over to the side so you can kind of see some of the buildings. It's if you've been to any
Midwestern
small town.
Why don't you look out those side windows?
Downtowns all kind of have the same look, but it's very reminiscent of what Main Street USA looks like. So that's another side of the E.P. Ripley Park. So we're coming back around over to, good thing you're not bouncing all around. We're coming back around to the Walt Disney Hometown Museum to finish our stream with you over there. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Does anybody
anything else we can?
I'm sure I shouldn't ask this, but does anybody want to see the Walt Disney Elementary School, which is around the corner from here? Or do we guys want to just stop in the Hometown Museum garden? We got a good amount of streamers, like people watching us.
I would say let's just stop because we can't. The cool things is peeking in the window to see.
Well, there's the sign that says the. Oh, look, somebody's. It's fascinating.
Kavehi thinks it's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Let's just hop out here.
Okay.
Because it gives them something to look forward to when they visit Marceline.
Garden. Lee wants to see the school. Liberty said the garden. So we'll see the.
Lee, we've got photos of us peeking in the
windows
and such. So we'll for sure share that. I mean, it is cool, but.
So we did part of our hangout earlier with our cast member and above supporters, and
hopefully we've timed this well with trains.
We started this here, and so there's actually a picture. We'll have to share it, but there's a picture of Walt and Roy at this fence without, this tree wasn't quite as big as it is.
I don't even know if the tree existed.
The museum in the background. So let's hang out in the garden.
I just heard someone's. Did you hear that? It's like someone's.
Was that a cock-a-doodle-doo? It probably was a rooster. It wasn't somebody. So, this garden is great. We also mentioned this on our hangout with some supporters that, just like Disneyland, they do sell these paver stones that you can get.
They're $125.
Yeah, so you can get some. Not bad. These ones are on the wall, but there's also some posted. Kind of not posted, but on the pathway around the museum here. I'll walk over and show you guys quick.
Something cool while we're walking this way too is, so this building was the train station or the train depot. So when Walt actually came to Marceline when he was 4 years old, when he got off the train, this was his first thing that he did is walk through this building.
Well, let's go check that out because we weren't able to before because we had a train going by.
That's
70 trains a day go by here on average, they said. So here's some of the pavers. There's a bunch in the front as well. You can always purchase one, like Teresa was saying. So here's the main railway. I'm just going to kind of glance quickly. I don't see a train that way. I don't see a train that way.
It won't be too loud.
So I'm going to spin around here, hopefully, as it comes around. Gimbal, let's go faster. Here we go. So this is where Walt would have gotten, at 4.5 years old, would have gotten off the train and come right in. And
the double doors there.
Double doors there to Marceline.
And that's actually now currently the gift shop.
Yep.
But yeah, so that was cool. Fun little fact. For anybody that signed any of the benches that were at the D20, any of the D23 expos, this last one included, some of the benches are located inside of the museum here. Some of the benches you may have noticed.
Not this bench, just
no,
to be clear.
Some of the benches that you may have noticed are actually located inside of Walt's barn.
I think I could show one of those benches because I think it's right inside. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not.
Peeking into the museum.
Yeah, it's too much of a reflection. You could.
But yeah, they're located throughout the museum.
See into the museum, but
the ones that you signed this year, 2022, those have not made their way. They are not in Marceline yet. They said that they are still shipping them back. So.
And you can see, here's all the pavers. You can see tons of them here. And there's cute ones. You can get ones with
Mickey Mouse.
Little Mickey.
Oh, this one's got a heart.
There's a heart?
Yeah, right here. Thank you, Marceline. Oh, Becky Klein.
Oh, look at that.
That's really cool.
Of course, Becky Klein is the...
Oh, and Adam LaWoo.
Of course, Adam LaWoo.
This is hilarious. I love it.
We want to get one. So
we're going to get one.
Oh, Rick Law.
Oh my goodness.
We want to have him on the show. He's an animator for Disney, or was an animator for Disney.
This is so cool.
We didn't notice that earlier, actually.
No. This is all genuine. We didn't notice any of these people before.
No.
This is very cool.
We were looking at the stuff over on the other side.
So you probably want to see something other than bricks. Sorry.
Yeah, so here's the entrance to the museum. For those of you who are curious, this is the hours of the museum and the logo of the museum. So don't come on a Monday. You won't be able to see anything.
I want to say it was when we visited today, it was just $10 admission. So
Teresa, do we want to kind of, let's see. I wish there was a way I could like make this thing.
That's okay.
Turn.
Yeah, there we go. So anyway, so we very much enjoyed our time here in Marceline.
It's been amazing.
It's been really amazing. Magical in a different sense. The people that live here have been so kind, so welcoming. Yes. We had fun. Like I said, we had the fun interaction with the police officer a couple of times. We had the same waitress because we ate breakfast and lunch at Ma Vic, so we had the same waitress both times. We got to have this really interesting Sunday. I should have taken a picture of what it was called. It was the Dusty Miller, that was it, the Dusty Miller Sunday, which is like a locally known Sunday that
Teresa took a picture of the story, so we can post that somewhere as well.
But if you come to the museum, you actually get a free Dusty Miller Sunday. Dusty Miller? I think it was Miller. Dusty something. You get a free one of these Sundays if you go to Mavic. So I thought that was a really fun connection. And Mavic's like literally, it's 2 blocks from here.
Yeah, everything's very walkable. Very walkable. Mm-hmm. So we hope you enjoyed the tour of Marceline.
Yes.
Hopefully the connection wasn't too bad. I think in town it's pretty good. So again, all of these type of trips and stuff would not be possible without our supporters, our Patreon supporters.
And all of our listeners. We wouldn't be doing all of this stuff and able to share it with all of you if you guys didn't tune in and watch and tune in and listen to us every week. So we're just so appreciative and want to thank all of you. If I could thank you all personally, I would. But yeah, anyways, thank you, everyone. We feel so fortunate. We're so excited to be able to share and bring you a little piece of Disney history with you today.
Well, signing off from Marceline, Missouri.
Bye,
Have
everyone.
a great evening, everybody.